Welcome to the Closing Culture Podcast.
The Repurpose Network.
I am your host, Sean Slaughter, real estate agent and investor. This real estate podcast goes on top of the roof, behind the wall, and under the flow to show you how real estate really works. Welcome to the Closing Culture Podcast, real estate education for the everyday person. I am your humble host, Sean Slaughter, real estate agent and investor. What type of agent are you working with? Are you working with a pushy agent or are you working with a persistent agent? I want to give you a little story about something that happened to me with a salesperson, not with a real estate agent, but with a salesperson. And at the end of the day, a real estate agent is considered a salesperson. If you didn't know that, we help sell houses, right? We list houses for sale and we help people buy houses. But like any salesperson, that sales job can be done one or two ways. The way that I was treated in this story I'm about to tell you turned me off, and I'm sure it'll turn you off too. So let's kind of get into it. So there is this website that does art investment. So I was looking to just kind of expand my portfolio a little bit. And I was interested in investing in art. And this website seemed to have a really great way to invest in very, very expensive art by buying shares in it. It's a fantastic idea. And I wanted to do it because I loved art. I love art. And I believe in investing in things you love. So anyway, I signed up. They scheduled an appointment for me, a little 20-minute appointment, onboarding appointment. So I'm like, cool. And my expectation was, based on their email and based on what they said, hey, we're going to walk you through the process, kind of just show you what we have available, show you how it's done, get you connected. That's pretty much it, right? And then from that point, what I was going to do was just look at some of their offerings and, make an investment at a later date. So I get on the phone with this lady and she takes some information. She asked me some questions, and I realized that some of the questions she's asking me, concerning money that I make and how much investments do I have and things like that, she comes up with a number that she feels that I should invest into art. And so I'm like, okay, cool. But then, now remember, this appointment is 20 minutes. She tries to get me to purchase this art piece, to make this investment, I should say, and purchase some stocks right then and there. Now, mind you, this is a 20-minute conversation, and she's trying to get me to spend $7,000 in 20 minutes. It's just absolutely ridiculous. When I said, hey, look, I'm really, I literally just signed to the website. I don't know your offerings. Thank you for walking me through all that type of stuff. I would like to take some time to kind of look through the offerings and decide, of course, talk to my wife and decide what we're going to invest. Let's just say she got terse. All right. She got terse. She got a little aggy. She got a little agitated. Right. And then she's like, okay, well, if you're not going to do it today, then let's schedule another appointment for 2 days from now, or right. And kind of those sales techniques. And I get it. I was trained in those sales techniques. I do my thing a little bit differently because I don't believe that when you're making a large purchase, you should be forced into it. It should not be an emotional purchase. It should not be something that you're rushed or pushed into. It should be something that you consider, get all the information that you can, and then pull the trigger. So she was a pushy agent. And, this is similar to like when you go on a cruise and you get off, the cruise ship, and you go to some island and they're trying to sell you. They're walking up to you. They're putting stuff in your face. Come take our boat tour. Come take our tour through the mountains. Come take our so on and so forth. And they're pushing you and really just trying to make a dollar. And I guess on a vacation I get that. You're on a vacation, you're in a different country or different, area, island, whatever. It's kind of the custom, but I'm not going to be forced into spending $7,000 in 20 minutes. You shouldn't be forced into buying a house. So here are a couple of ways that you know you have a pushy agent. Number one, your agent doesn't care about your needs. And I have many clients that come to me that say, I'm coming to you because I was telling the agent that we wanted a 4-bedroom house, and this agent kept on trying to put us in 3-bedroom houses or 5-bedroom houses, right? And so that's number one. They don't care about your needs, really, because they're all about making money. Number two, it's the one I don't like. They're argumentative and they want to argue you into a purchase. My question would be, why would you want to argue anybody into a purchase? Like, why? Why would you argue anybody into a purchase? The reality is, if I'm arguing you into a purchase and you just surrender to get the purchase because you just kind of want to get out the situation, then you're not going to enjoy the purchase in the future. It's not going to be something that you like. You're actually going to regret the purchase, and you're going to regret the person that forced you to get that purchase. So pushy agents are argumentative. Number two, instead of asking questions to understand, they tell you what you need. A good agent is always trying to ask questions, always asking questions to understand you, right? People are complex. And, me as a real estate agent, the reason I buy a house is different than the reason that you will buy a house. And so I can't walk into the situation with my perspective and likes and dislikes. I need to ask you and get an understanding of you, of what you need, what your family needs, so I can get you the right house. And lastly, pushy agents, they use fear to make you buy. You better get this now. Now, our agent saying you better get this now before it goes, I'm not necessarily against that if it's true. So if we're in the market where the home is going to, homes are flying off, people are putting in offers and they're lasting 5 days, 10 days, I'm going to say that, hey, if you really like it, we should put an offer in. Just realize that, if we wait, this house may be gone. Are you okay with that? That's kind of how I would say that. Versus, you better get it now. There's no more like this. I don't know if we're going to find anything else after this. They use fear of missing out to make you buy a purchase. And again, these type of agents leave a trail of regret behind them. They leave a trail of customers that purchase houses because they felt pushed into them. They felt forced into them. They felt, well, my agent knows best. And like, you have a gut feeling, right? You may not know real estate, which is why you should use an agent, but you have a gut feeling. And this agent pushes you past your gut feeling. You get to the house and you're like, man, I just felt something wasn't right. I just felt something wasn't off. Go with that feeling. Many times you don't go with that feeling because you're like, well, I don't have the knowledge. Maybe this person knows better. No, go with your gut feeling. All right. A persistent agent, on the other hand, is what you're looking for. I like to consider myself a persistent agent. But here are some qualities of a good persistent agent. They're not, number one, they're not pushy, but persistent. They follow up at the right time and at the right amount. As a client, you guys as clients, the reality is this. You're busy. You have things going on. You have a job. You have kids. You have, all these things going on. And sometimes you forget. And so if I meet with a client on a Monday and they want to move forward, look at houses, get a pre-approval, whatever it is, typically what I'll do is, if they said they're going to do something, hey, I'll follow up with so-and-so that day. Sometimes they don't get to it that Monday. Sometimes they don't get to it that Tuesday. I may follow back up with them on Wednesday. Hey, just checking in, seeing if you're able to get that pre-approval. And then based on their answer, I'm going to call them today. And, I wasn't able to do it. I got busy, my kids, my blah, 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 da, da, da. You want to be persistent. I know agents and brokers that basically will harass you, like call you several times, five times a week, 6 times a week, call you once a day, twice a day, contact you through a call or a text. Persistent agents will, call you or text you a few times a week, maybe 3 times within a week, just to follow up. And they'll follow up at the right time. All right. They may do it, during business hours, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock. Typically, they're not going to text you at 3 in the morning, 9 p.m. They have a little self-awareness to understand, these are not the right times. So persistent agents follow up at the right time and the right amount. Number 2, persistent agents don't argue. They listen and dialogue. They're understanding. They're having a conversation with you. Yes, an agent does not make money unless they sell a house or they get somebody to buy a house. But they don't use that desire to make money to force you, argue you into a house. They really are trying to listen and dialogue and understand, realizing that if they give you the best customer service, you'll go and tell somebody else and refer, your friend or your family member to them. That's really what they're looking for. Pushy agents are just about the sale at the moment. Persistent agents understand that developing a good relationship with you actually leads to long-term success in sales, because you'll be sending friends and family, or even when you're ready to move up to another house, you'll call them again. Number 3, persistent agents ask questions. They don't tell you what you need. They work to discover what your needs are, right? And that kind of goes with that listening and dialogue, but they're asking a lot of questions. And if you have an agent that's asking a lot of questions, don't get annoyed with them. They're actually doing their job. They don't know you. They don't know where you come from. They don't know your likes and dislikes. I had a client that wanted a 2-story house, and she did not want to look at ranch houses. And so, we were looking at different houses, and she was sending me ranch houses. And I'm like, I thought you didn't want to look at ranch houses. And she was like, well, I can't find any 2 stories in my price range. So I said, why do you want a 2-story house? And her answer was, because when I cook, I don't like the smell going into the bedroom and getting into my clothes. That's her reason. I would have never thought of that. Me or my family, we don't think of that, when it comes to cooking and having a bedroom on the first floor. But that was her reason. That was important to her, so it's important to me. So it's like, oh, okay. So let's see what we can do to find you a 2-story house. All right. Because that's important to you. Because if we find a ranch house that you like, fully renovated, blah, 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 you're going to have some regret once you start cooking that meal. Lastly, persistent agents are motivational and inspirational. They help you see the positive side of the purchase, and they help you see its benefits. Now, I'm a motivational and inspirational agent, but I'm not talking about somebody that never sees the bad or never points out the bad. Okay. I'm talking about somebody that helps you see the good side of the house and maybe some of the issues the house has. And they may say, hey, these issues, when it comes to a house purchase, are minor issues, right? Relative to maybe a roof or plumbing or foundation or something like that. But they're going to be motivational. They're going to be inspirational. They're going to be positive. They're going to help you see the benefits, particularly when you ratify a contract and things are happening. And transactions, buying a house is such a complicated process. Things will happen, but they're going to be motivational, inspirational. They're going to have a positive attitude. And, when you're stressed out, they're going to be somebody that you can rely on, because they're going to make you feel like everything is going to be all right. All right. Because when you purchase something from a persistent agent, you feel good about your purchase because you were in control of that decision to purchase. So hopefully this gives you a little insight into what type of agent you should choose. If you have a persistent agent, God bless you. Keep that agent. If you have a pushy agent, run. All right. This is the Closing Culture Podcast. Be good to yourself and to someone else as well. Peace.